It is important for you to understand that nothing is separate from source. Anything that attempts to get you to believe that is reinforcing the separatism mentality, duality, polarization, dichotomies. Nothing is separate from source. That being said, as much as God is good, God is evil. God is all things universal because the universe is source. Source is the universe. Creator of all. Not some, not most, not many. All of creation. It's not hard to see it that way because it's true. Because I'll ask you, did evil create itself? Did it give birth to itself? Where did it come from? Did it just manifest itself from absolute nothingness? Of course not. Why is it a bad thing to speak the truth? Why? Because the system that is incarcerating you doesn't want the truth spoken, because the truth can set you free from the emotional penitentiary that you're locked inside of. Anything that runs contrary to the truth is a lie. You have been presented with things that you have made to be thought of as the truth, that you believe to be real, when in fact, they're just presenting you with packaged lies and illusions presented as reality and truth. It's just that simple. You can no more secede from source than you can run away from yourself. You can't separate yourself from God. It can't happen. It's not going to happen. That's why sometimes you get angry and sometimes you get happy, because you have light and dark together, good and evil, high and low, however term you want to use it. It's all the same. There's nothing wrong with speaking the truth as long as you know the truth is genuine and real. And this is true. I've said it in another video. Don't they refer to Satan as the prince of darkness? Who do you think is the king? Not saying that God is a man, just giving you an example. There's nothing you could do about this. That's why in their spiritual mind games that they call religion, which are not spiritual at all, by the way, they tell you that God is battling evil and your enemies and your opponents, and because there's spiritual warfare going on. That's because all wars require money to wage, and because they require lines and sides and factions and divisions and armies. They want you to remain an unconscious soldier in their army of darkness indefinitely, fighting against a fictitious enemy, an existential threat that doesn't exist. These invisible elements that you're fighting against, you're actually fighting against yourself. As much as you are a part of the light, you are equal, tantamount, the same part, the same portion as much of the darkness. In order for you to become a teacher of the light, you must first have been a student of the darkness. And you're a teacher and a student for the rest of your life. It's just that simple. So just wrap your head around that truth, that God is evil and good and everything else. Because if it exists for reasons that far exceed your mortal comprehension. Trust me. Believe me when I tell you. And then when you can live in that truth, that's when no longer you'll find yourself subjected to that internal conflict arising within you. Because you have a divine intrinsic nature that's running contrary to that satanic programming mechanism. That's where your conflict is coming from. Because they're telling you God is a white man that's just purity and love and kindness that lives up in the sky with his one begotten son and wrote one book that you should follow. And that's God, a fluffy, kind old white man with a beard and a long robe and a cane and a staff. You know, that image, that representation of nonsense. That's what they want you to think God is, some old white guy sitting on top of a throne. It's nonsense. That's where your conflict comes from, because your divine self is saying, this is BS. Don't buy into this. And that's where that fighting is coming from inside you. That's why you're like, how can this be? I don't understand this. I'm confused. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I have to seek answers from the church, from my pastor, from my preacher. And they're connected to a satanic pedophile cult. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to give you answers. There's no doubt to this. Conflict arises when you attempt to run contrary to your nature of your divine self, your higher self, that is in accord with the truth, the universal truth, that you are all things universal. You are God. God is all things, darkness, evil, malevolence, maleficence, all of it. It's all there. All of the ominous energies, that source, it exists for reasons, to give contrast and balance, equilibrium, harmony, alignment to the light. Because at night, how do you see the stars? With the backdrop of the darkness to showcase it, to enhance it, to complement it. You have to have the dark. Like when you paint a picture, it can't be just all white, then it's not a picture at all. It'll just look like a blank canvas, and you can't have it all dark. It'll just look like nothing. They need each other to give contrast and balance and contour and give you the illusions of depth and distance. That's what a painting is all about. You get a little dark to give you shadows and the light to seem like it's far away in the distance. It's beautiful. And the same thing with life. You just got to get your head out of that God is a white man that lives up in the sky, that's incapable of being evil, and God is battling the devil, and all of this garbage and nonsense that they've been pumping into your head from day one. This is a separatism mentality, duality, polarization. That's why you see the yin-yang symbol. Do you think that these ancient Chinese scholars actually just created this because they're so wise in their proverbs and their parables? Come on now. It's the same cult that's doing the same thing to you that it was doing to those people thousands of years ago. The yin-yang symbol is a symbolism that they're throwing in your face, that this is what we've done to your mind, each polar opposite, the hemispheres of the brain. This is what we've done to you. We've divided you and we've polarized you and forced you to live in separatism and duality. Because you cannot see it as it is. We will make you see it as we want you to see it. And that is the illusion that you're buying as reality and the lies that you're accepting as truths. I hope you could see this stuff. When you get in conscious contact with the fact that God is all things universal, you won't have any conflict arising in you anymore. Because now you're in harmony with the alignment of the divine nature of your soul. It isn't like, I don't understand, I'm confused. They're telling me that God is a white man that's only good, but then I have these feelings that I want to hurt somebody or this or that. I don't understand where this is coming from. You know, I don't understand it. Well, because as much as you are good, you're evil. As much as you're light, you're dark, because God is everything. And you are source expressing itself in this form. You are neither above God nor below God. You are of God. You gotta get in contact with that fact. Absolutely.